Hello and welcome to another edition of News Showcase. I am Priya, Tamil Nadu's first artificial intelligence news presenter. 96 constituencies went to the polls in the fourth round of India's national election to choose a new parliament. The seats in Monday's vote are spread across 9 states and the territory of Jammu and Kashmir. The states of Andhra Pradesh and Odisha held simultaneous elections to choose regional governments as well. The world's largest election, split into 7 rounds, kicked off in April and ends in June. The India Bloc, a grouping of opposition parties led by the Congress, is trying to unseat the BJP of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is seeking a rare third straight term. The election to the lower house of parliament, which has 545 seats, will choose the next Prime Minister of the country after the polls. There are reports of violence from West Bengal state where elections were held in 8 constituencies. Clashes broke out between supporters of the governing Trinamool Congress and the BJP. Violence broke out when a BJP candidate Dilip Ghosh went to investigate complaints at a polling booth. Footage published by news outlets showed cars being attacked with stones as people and reporters ran for cover. Reports also said political parties made over 1,000 complaints with election authorities, some of them about problems with voting machines and others about interference by party workers. A lawmaker in Andhra Pradesh attacked a voter when he was questioned for skipping the queue during polling. In social media footage that went viral immediately, state lawmaker Siva Kumar of the governing YSR Congress party throws the first punch before the voter strikes back. Aides of the lawmaker join the assault on the voter before other voters step in to separate them. Reports said security personnel did not intervene to stop the fight. There was widespread condemnation of the lawmaker's behavior on social media. In the run-up to the polls in the state, the campaign was marked by bitterness by the rival camps of the governing YSR Congress party and its main rival, the TDP, which is an ally of the BJP. A restaurant in Indore city served out free food to voters as polling was held in 8 constituencies in Madhya Pradesh. People lined up outside the restaurant known as 56 Dukan, a well-known eatery in the city. It offered breakfast to encourage voters to come out of their homes early to take part in the polls. The free breakfast was served between 7 and 9 in the morning, and the menu included the city's favorite poha, as well as sweets and ice cream varieties. The restaurant's owner said he had planned for about 12,000 servings, which is twice as much served in the last national elections. Restaurants and taxi services had offered food and rides for free in other cities too, to push up voter turnout. Prime Minister Narendra Modi took part in a community meal in Bihar, where he campaigned for his BJP and regional ally the Janata Dal United. He took on the role of a host to serve the worshippers. Wearing a turban, Modi served food to devotees at the main Sikh temple in the state capital Patna. The site is of profound importance because it's believed to be the birthplace of Guru Gobind Singh. The Prime Minister also tried his hand in the kitchen in various roles. Modi's visit to the temple came after he staged his signature roadshow to seek votes in Patna. The former Chief Minister of Jharkhand State, Hemant Soren, has been denied interim bail by the Supreme Court. His lawyers cited the temporary release of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal last week to back up their appeal. The court said it will examine the matter later this week. Soren is the leader of the JMM political party, who was arrested in January in a financial case and sent to jail. His lawyers said he should be freed to let him campaign for his party in the ongoing national election. According to reports, the charges against him include fictitious transactions and forgery to acquire land worth millions of rupees. His arrest followed dramatic events after his whereabouts and location were briefly surrounded by mystery as federal agents fanned out to find him. The Supreme Court also dismissed a petition that sought the removal of Arvind Kejriwal as Chief Minister. The court said it was up to the governor of Delhi to decide about it. The petition is the latest in a series that sought to overthrow him and comes days after he made sharp attacks on the BJP and Prime Minister Narendra Modi during campaign events in Delhi. Under the terms of his bail, he cannot carry out his official duties as Chief Minister and should return to jail by June 2nd, which means he can campaign for the rest of the election. Kejriwal was arrested in March over alleged malpractices in the Delhi government's liquor contracts. His Aam Aadmi Party has denied the charges. The Defence Minister of Maldives has said there are no pilots in the country who could fly the military aircraft donated by India. Ghassan Mamoon told reporters that pilots with the Maldives National Defence Force have not completed their training to fly the 2 helicopters and a Dornier plane stationed on its soil. Some weeks ago, Indian military personnel deployed to the country were removed in a policy shift by President Mohamed Muizzu, who is being seen as a pro-China leader. Relations with India, a traditional ally of the Maldives, took a sharp downturn after Muizzu reversed some bilateral agreements and allowed a Chinese ship to dock at its port. The Indians believe the ship is a spy boat as both nations compete for influence in the region, which has important trade routes. Russian President Vladimir Putin, in a surprise move, has removed his ally Sergei Shoigu as defense minister. The 68-year-old, who has held the position since 2012, played a key role in the ongoing invasion of Ukraine. Despite having no military experience, he was handed the defense portfolio. According to documents released by the upper house of the Russian parliament, Andrei Belousov, the deputy prime minister, will succeed Shoigu. A civil engineer by training, Shoigu will head Russia's influential Security Council in his new role. He became well known in the 1990s when he was appointed director of the ministry responsible for crises and disaster management. Kremlin press spokesman Dmitry Peskov stated that the planned appointment of a civilian as new defense minister demonstrated the need for innovation in the ministry's function. Russia has blamed Ukraine after an explosion in Belgorod caused a whole apartment block to collapse. According to the regional governor, 2 bodies had been recovered from the debris and there have been at least 19 injuries. The Russian city is close to the Ukrainian border with Kharkiv, where Russian forces began an operation on Friday. Since Russia began its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, Ukrainian forces have frequently targeted the Belgorod region. Images from the area show rescuers manually clearing debris while they searched for survivors. There are concerns that the main building may collapse further and the surrounding units have been evacuated. The Russian Investigative Committee said a criminal case has been registered and an investigation has begun. The UK has said it will not follow the US restrictions on arms sales to Israel and said it was opposed to a ground invasion of Gaza's Rafah city. Foreign Secretary Lord Cameron stated that a freeze on weapons supply to Israel would only strengthen the Hamas militant group. He said that only 1% of Israel's weapons are supplied by the UK, and he pointed out the weapons are not sold directly, but through permits awarded to weapons makers. He also stressed that Israel needs to do more to safeguard civilians and permit the easy delivery of humanitarian goods. The opposition Labour Party stated that it is opposed to the use of guns made in the UK in the conflict. Reports last month said the UK was considering the idea of deploying British forces in Gaza to assist in supplying aid through a sea route. A Nepalese man and a British climber broke the record for the most ascents of Mount Everest on Sunday. 54-year-old Kamirita Sherpa beat his own world record after he completed his 29th ascent of the world's highest mountain. Having been a guide for more than 20 years, he reached the top for the first time in 1994. British climber Kent Cool from Gloucestershire also hit the peak for the 18th time, creating a new record for the highest number of climbs by a foreigner. On Mount Everest, the climbing season has just begun, and hundreds of climbers are expected to hit the trail in the coming weeks. Last year, more than 600 individuals reached the summit, but it was also one of the deadliest climbing seasons, with 18 fatalities during the expeditions. Thank you for watching. I am Priya, Tamil Nadu's first artificial intelligence news presenter. Do tune in, same time tomorrow, for a roundup of the latest news and updates in India and around the world.